أحباب رسول الكريم السلام عليكم
ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. My dear respected brother, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Peace and salutation to our beloved Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Again, we are witnessing the month of Ramadan as the way we're counting today 5 days. So my dear respected brother, to remind myself and to remind you, from day 1 until today, day 5, did you check your timetable regarding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Did you check timetable regarding your salah? Did you check your timetable regarding your charity, regarding to give charity? Did you check your timetable regarding connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? My reminder today, we don't have time because people, they are ready, they finish the salah, they want to move on. My reminder today is only 5 to 10 minutes to remind you, my brother and my sister in Islam. In Ramadan, this is a gift Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave Ummati Muhammadin sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. As the way I mentioned yesterday, if you check the entire Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala linked the Quran and Ramadan. As the way I mentioned yesterday, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. Number 1, we hear here Quran. Number 2, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you check the Quran, Allah link the Quran and Siyam, link the Quran and fasting. Is mean in the entire Quran, Allah mentioned 3 times about شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن, to remind us Ramadan who was revealed Quran inside in the month of Ramadan. So this is to remind myself and to remind you, my brother and my sister in Islam. That's why you have time, read much Quran. You have time, recite more Quran. You have time when you are driving your car, listen Quran. You have time when you are sitting in the house here right now, reading Quran. And remember, this is the name Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave Ummati Muhammadin sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Number 2, the way people, when we are ready to be inside in the month of Ramadan, people, they used to say, Sheikh, Ramadan is gone, is going very quick, very fast. But remember, the way I mentioned yesterday, ayyam ma'dudat, few days we can count. Now we are counting 5 days. So after next week, now we are counting to finish Ramadan. So try your best, my brother and my sister in Islam, the way Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned in the hadith, Man qama Ramadan al-imana wa ikhtisaba ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbi. Again, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam remind us, the one who be alive in the month of Ramadan, then he could not work hard to get benefit for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is mean you are loser, my brother and my sister in Islam. That's why I remind all the time here in our Masjid, when you have time, come early in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you have time, read the Quran. When you have time, make do what you make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Again, Allah to remind in the Quran, وَمَنْ يَغْفِرْ الذُّنُوبَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ, who can forgive your sin than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My dear respected brother, we need to return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive our sin, to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us ni'mah to get Jannah Firdaus, to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make easy for us inside in the month of Ramadan, Allah to forgive our sin. The way I mentioned last week, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when Ramadan starts, Allah to free people from hellfire to enter in Jannah every single night. The way I mentioned again yesterday, Allah to remind us, ayyam ma'dudat. Now we are counting 5 days. Tomorrow, next week, we'll be counting Ramadan is gone. Then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam remind again, in this month of Ramadan, there is night. If you be witness this night, my brother and my sister in Islam, to remind myself and to remind you, try your best last Ramadan. Try your best last Ramadan. The way Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, Man qama laylatul qadr, the one who be stood up in the last of Ramadan, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you a beautiful night of Laylatul Qadr. Allah to is like you make ibadah entire life. Our age today, we count is 70 to 75. So when you be witness the month of Ramadan, is mean entire life you was witness the ibadah for Laylatul Qadr. So my dear respect brother, to conclude, to remind myself and to remind you, work hard. Work hard in Ramadan. Work hard, you can get benefit from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Maybe we don't know next year will not be alive. Maybe we don't know next year will not be alive. So this is our chance for us to try our best regarding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The way I mentioned, شَهْرُ رَمَضَانَ الَّذِي أُنزِلَ فِيهِ الْقُرْآنِ. Ramadan is the month Allah was revealed Quran. So for us to read more Quran. I know it will be difficult for people, they will not be able to finish Khatam of Quran. If you will not be able to finish Khatam of Quran, try your best, at least half. If you will not be able to finish half, try your best, at least Suratul Baqarah. If you are not able to finish at least Suratul Baqarah, try your best to learn how to read Quran so you can get more benefit from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then remember our brother and our sister around the globe, they are suffering. Make dua for them. This is the month of Ramadan, my brother and my sister in Islam. Make dua for them. Raise hand for your brother and your sister. They are struggling around the globe. Allah to make it easy for them. Because the dua in the month of Ramadan is accepted more than the way ulama they remind. When you make dua, Allah is ready to accept your dua. So this is to remind myself and to remind you. Remember your brother and our sister around the globe. People, they are suffering. As we have nema, we are sitting for iftar. We'll be able to take our iftar. Look, our brother and our sister, maybe they don't have nothing even to eat, my brother and my sister in Islam. So remember this dua to make your brother for your sister in Islam. Allah to make easy for them. And remember dua for yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya Allah, you give me gift to be alive on this Ramadan. I don't know if I will be alive next year. Make it easy for me, Ya Allah, and Allah to forgive your sin. My dear respect brother, me to remind here most of the time, Ramadan is a gift Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give to us. The way Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned, Man swama Ramadan al-imanan wa ihtisaban ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbi. The one will be alive. And then he can be stand up regarding the ibadah for the month of Ramadan. Allah to forgive his previous sin. So as my dear brother and my sister in Islam, we try our best in Ramadan here. I remember last year there was people already 15 of Ramadan, they're already tired. So we have to all the time to remind people to come in the masjid, to be behind the Tarawih. Look now, our masjid right now, we finish 5 juz. Then tomorrow we continue, we go to the 6 juz until we finish full Quran. This is the name of my brother and my sister in Islam. There is some masajid, they are looking for people who they can be behind them to complete Quran. As we have Nema here, we will be able to complete our Quran. So we have to try our best, my brother and my sister in Islam. Then remember this Nema. When you move out, maybe you will not be able to get this Nema to be in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So maybe you'll be living far away from Masjid. Maybe you'll be living far away, so it's no Masjid. The way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you Nema to be in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Try your best to come early in the Masjid. Make dhikri for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have many problems, my brother and my sister in Islam. Cry to your Maker Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remind us, وَمَنْ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Who can forgive your sin than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allahu Akbar. Who can forgive your sin than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? It's only Allah can forgive you, so we have to return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The way most of the time we remind here, taqwa Allah is to return to Allah. Then you say, Ya Allah, I have to change myself on this Ramadan. Even as my brother and my sister in Islam, if we don't change us on Ramadan, how we can change next month? If we don't change us in this Ramadan, how will we be able to change next month? So Ramadan is to purify us, to return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to change ourselves regarding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so Allah can make it easy for us, and Allah to accept our ibadah in the month of Ramadan. That's why you see the Sahaba, most of the time, when they realize Ramadan is coming, they used to work hard to work hard by reading Quran, to work hard by make dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to remember Allah most of the time, because they know this name maybe next year will not be alive. So this is to my reminder. We have to try our best regarding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for us. Again, one dua, my brother and my sister in Islam, most of the time when you are praying, make this dua. Allahumma atiq riqabana minan nar. Make dua, ya Allah, free me from the hellfire. Allah, help me to be away from the hellfire. Allah will make it easy for you, and Allah will accept your dua. أقول قولي هذا فاستغفروه فإن الله هو الغفور الرحيم وهو التواب الرحيم. السلام عليكم
ورحمة الله وبركاته.